Davies is forward with him. Olise!
Michael Olise is with us. Do you hear us? You do? Good to see you.
Michael Olise is one of a kind. His impossible dribbles and ice-cold free kicks have fans on the edge of their seats.
Like that they were a bit tired, Jamie and Mike. I know he was the only one trying to go inside, and he grew into the game, like I just said before, trying to curve some balls, trying to make things happen. At one point, I think he wanted to deliver across, no one moved, he complained.
And when it comes to the biggest of games, Olise does not just produce any moments. He produces the kind of moments that stop the entire football world. Olise is the definition of different.
There's something that Michael does ever so well, and that wingers do not do. As soon as he controls the ball, he squares you. So instead of as soon as he controls it, he squares you straight away. And because you know he can go right or left, you have to respect that.
He led France to Olympic silver. He became the best creative player in European football at 23 years old. And he will almost certainly reach heights that nobody can yet imagine. But believe it or not, Olise is also one of the strangest players you will ever see. He does not celebrate goals the same way other players do. He refused to put on the championship shirt when Bayern won the Bundesliga title. He does not have a single boot sponsor. He has given what has been called the worst interview in football history. And he seems completely, utterly unbothered by all of it.
Fuck. I don't know.
So the question is, how good is Michael Olise? And more importantly, what actually makes him one of a kind? Michael Akpovi Olise was born in Hammersmith, London on the 12th of December 2001. His father is Nigerian, his mother is Franco-Algerian. He grew up in Hayes and joined his local club at the age of 6. He was good enough to be taken by the Chelsea Academy at 7, where he would spend the next 7 years of his footballing life. Then, at 14 years old, Chelsea let him go. For most young players, that is the moment the dream ends. For Olise, it was just the beginning. After being released by Chelsea, Olise also spent time at Manchester City's academy before joining Reading's scholarship program in 2018. He made his professional debut for Reading at 17 in March 2019. He was not the most physically imposing prospect. He was not the fastest, but even then, those who watched him closely saw something that could not be coached into a player, a vision, a calmness, and a relationship with the ball that seemed to belong to someone playing a different game to everyone else on the pitch. By the 2020-21 season, Olise was playing every week in the championship and won the EFL Young Player of the Season award. The kid Chelsea had let go at 14 was now the best young player in English football's second division. Crystal Palace were watching. Crystal Palace signed Michael Olise in July 2021 for £8.3 million, activating a release clause from Reading that now looks like one of the greatest pieces of recruitment in Premier League history. He made his Palace debut against Tottenham, came off the bench, and within weeks he was producing moments that Premier League crowds had not seen for a very long time. He had something different. When Olise received the ball in tight spaces, he moved through defenders as if they were suggestions rather than obstacles. His left foot bent free kicks around walls and into corners that goalkeepers could not reach. And the moment that defined him for the wider world came in the 91st minute against Manchester United, when he struck a free kick that dipped and swerved and cracked off the underside of the crossbar and into the net. Selhurst Park erupted. The stadium went completely wild. And Olise walked away from the ball, gave a small fist pump, and then looked mildly satisfied. Not ecstatic. Not running with his shirt off. Just a small fist pump. Commentators on Sky Sports were baffled. Jamie Redknapp could not understand it. He said he had scored free kicks and his shirt was off. He was doing love bites, everything. But Olise had already moved on. That was his first hint to the football world that this was someone built differently on the inside. Injuries hampered him across his time at Palace, but when he played, he was extraordinary. In his final season before his move to Bayern, he produced 10 goals and 6 assists in just 19 appearances. A goal contribution rate better than almost any winger in the Premier League that year. Every major club in England came for him. Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, Newcastle. But Olise had a different destination in mind. In July 2024, Bayern Munich paid €60 million for Michael Olise. Plenty of people thought it was a gamble. He had spent the previous season battling hamstring problems. He had never played in a major European league. He was 22 years old and had spent 3 seasons at Crystal Palace, a club that, for all its charm, is not exactly the standard proving ground for the world's elite. Skeptics pointed to the injury record. They pointed to the price. But Thierry Henry, who had just spent the entire Olympic tournament coaching him every day, had already said what he thought. He told reporters plainly, "You ain't seen nothing yet." Henry was right. He was more right than he probably even knew. Olise recorded an assist within 2 minutes of his Bayern debut, coming off the bench in August 2024. 3 days after scoring his first Bundesliga goal, he made his Champions League debut against Dinamo Zagreb and scored twice in a 9-2 win. He never looked back. That debut season, his very first in a major European league, he finished as the Bundesliga's top assist provider with 15 assists to go with 12 goals. He won the league's Rookie of the Season award. He made the Team of the Season. He had gone from the championship to being the most creative player in Germany's top flight in his first year. And people were beginning to realize that Henry's words in Paris were not just praise, they were prophecy. If his debut season showed the world what Olise could do, his second season at Bayern showed what he actually is. By April 2026, no player in Europe's top 5 leagues had more assists than him. No winger had been directly involved in more goals across all competitions. In the Champions League, he scored 4 and assisted 7 to help fire Bayern into the semi-finals. He had a match against Atalanta in which he scored twice and assisted 3 times in a 6-1 win, one of the great individual European performances of the season. And then came the quarterfinal against Real Madrid. Bayern trailed 3-2 on the night in the second leg, needing 1 more goal. With the clock reading 90 minutes and beyond, Olise received the ball, created a yard of space from nothing, and bent a shot into the corner that sent Bayern through 4-3 on the night and 6-4 on aggregate. He had just scored a stoppage-time winner to eliminate Real Madrid from the Champions League. After the match, a journalist suggested Real Madrid were the kings of the competition. Olise looked at the reporter with a barely concealed smirk, repeated the question back as a single phrase, "Kings of the competition?" and said nothing else. The clip went viral within hours. Bayern's manager, Vincent Kompany, who had played alongside Kevin De Bruyne for years, said he believed Olise could become one of the best attacking players who had ever played the game. You begin to think he might be right. But statistics only tell part of the story of Michael Olise, because just as remarkable as what he does on the pitch is what he refuses to do off it. When Bayern Munich won the Bundesliga title after beating Stuttgart 4-2 in April 2026, the entire squad posed for the championship photograph in specially printed title celebration shirts in front of the Südkurve. Every player, every member of the coaching staff, every member of the support staff. And then there was Olise, spotted in the background, still wearing his match shirt, having declined both the shirt swap and the team photograph. Bayern's social media channels were full of celebration content, and Olise appeared only in the background, almost accidentally. Nobody from the club explained why. His teammate, Jonathan Tah, told reporters that Olise was far from cold inside the squad, that he chats and laughs with everyone, that he is actually the leader of their team WhatsApp group. He just does not feel the need to perform happiness for a camera. This is consistent with who Olise has always been. At Crystal Palace, he gave what was genuinely described in multiple outlets as the worst post-match interview ever recorded. He answered questions in monosyllables. He seemed mildly inconvenienced by the entire process. After the Real Madrid win, his on-field interview alongside Harry Kane descended into chaos. When the microphone malfunctioned, the broadcaster had to restart multiple times, and Olise, rather than filling the silence with the usual platitudes, simply stood there, waited patiently, and when finally asked how he felt about reaching the Champions League semi-finals, said he was happy. Jamie Carragher, watching from the studio, called it the best-worst interview he had ever seen. But perhaps the most extraordinary detail of all is this. Michael Olise, one of the best players in European football, does not have a single boot sponsorship. Not one. Almost every professional footballer in the world secures an equipment deal early in their career. For a player of Olise's profile, those deals can be worth tens of millions. A source close to the player told the French newspaper L'Equipe that it simply does not interest him at all. He wears old Nike Hypervenom 3 boots, a model discontinued in 2018, because he likes them. No logo, no campaign, no deal. There is one final detail about Olise that matters more than any of the statistics or the eccentricities. When he was growing up in Hayes, watching football and dreaming about where he might end up, one of his idols was a French winger at Arsenal. Quick, technically brilliant, capable of things other players could not do. That winger was Thierry Henry. And in the summer of 2024, Michael Olise was called up to play for France at the Paris Olympics by his coach, Thierry Henry. At the post-match press conference before the gold medal final, Henry was asked about his winger's performances. 2 goals, 4 assists, France in the final. Henry paused, and then he said, "He has incredible qualities. And you ain't seen nothing yet. It's only the start. It is not often you get players like that." Olise heard those words, and he went out in the final and played like someone who had always known exactly what he was. Michael Olise is 24 years old. He has already won the Bundesliga. He has already been Europe's leading creator. He has already scored a stoppage time winner to eliminate Real Madrid from the Champions League. He has already produced individual performances across 2 seasons that most wingers never produce across an entire career. He was released by Chelsea at 14. He was playing championship football at 17. He was at Crystal Palace at 20. And now he is widely considered one of the 5 best wingers on the planet. He does not celebrate goals the same way you do. He does not pose for championship photographs. He does not sign boot deals. He does not do press conferences the way broadcasters want him to. He has 4 different countries he could have represented, from 4 different parts of the world, and he chose France because, as he said himself, his mother is from there and he was connected to it as a child. He plays in 8-year-old discontinued boots because he likes the feel of them. And he has said, when asked what he wants from the years ahead, that he does not just want to win trophies. He wants to leave a legacy. He wants to make history. He is 24. He has barely started. And as Thierry Henry told us almost 2 years ago, you ain't seen nothing yet. This was another football day.